Blessings and wholeness, family. What's up? Much love. Jesse Tree here, offering you very many good vibrations. Hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful day, as I am enjoying here. Getting my usual, sun and snow, New Mexico vibes. That's how it is. But I wanted to reach out and share a meditation I've been thinking about for the last couple days and weeks. I haven't done much sharing on YouTube or social media because I've been in a meditation. It's kind of like in winter, these trees here all around. I've got these fruit trees I just pruned, getting ready in season for the next season. Did my chop and drop. But even though they look dormant, they're still growing roots underground. They're rooting in and getting stronger. They look dead, but they're really becoming ready to be more alive. I've been feeling this in myself. I had a good big old fast in January. It was wonderful. Felt very strong in my breatharian practice. And as soon as it was done, I was like binging. I mean, look at my belly. I'm still all liquids and dry fasting, 16 hours a day, but whew, it was sort of like I pressed out too far and had to slingshot back. And I'm finding the middle again. But regardless, that's something different. That's my own personal thing. I want to be of service to you. So, you all may be experiencing this too. This like sort of going within and being more sort of withdrawn. It's the season for that in natural time. And it will cause you to be in greater strength. But in this time, as a gardener, I'm planting seeds. I started inside my house. I started some ashwagandha seeds, some lettuce sprouts, a little bit of cannabis sprouts, starting to get my herb garden together, and also of perennial things I'm seeding. And I'm, going to start my tomatoes soon and my peppers, all kind of staging, a month in advance, and sort of sowing seeds in the dark, kind of not knowing what you're doing, but you're just planting seeds, hopefully. That's the way it's felt for me. I've been, working now with my Purian business for a year. Ta-da! It's also almost my 4-year breatharian birthday, of where I took a 4-day dry fast, and after that I've been a liquiditarian primarily. It started off like 80-20. Now I'm like, then it got to around 95%. Now I'd say about 99%, because all I really have is seaweed besides the copious amounts of drinks I've been drinking. Anyway, I'm judging it. It's no biggie. I still am well and healthy, and I'm still on the path. So, whatever the case, my thoughts keep gravitating back to that. At any rate, that's kind of the vibe. It's like, it's a good time. I know spring's gonna come again. I know the light's gonna grow. I'm gonna come outside and have more to do in the garden. I get sort of seasonally affected. Not too bad. If I could just snowboard more and if I can work, great. But this season I didn't get to do that so much, and so, I'm welcoming this week. I get to garden. I get to start pruning trees and, helping out in my service to the earth. But so the meditation is this whole thing of like, if you fail to plan, you can plan to fail. So as a gardener is planning out, a season ahead, I just offer this as a suggestion that you can bring into your life of some planning for the, season ahead and the year ahead. As Sadhguru says, people are wondering with this collective crisis going on, what are we going to do? There's a lot of fear and anticipation and anxiety. And like he said, people are, asking about prophecy or, predictions. I don't have any predictions. I have a plan, and my plan will work, but we have to do the plan. And this plan involves us taking on, the um, practice of regenerating the planet, regenerating the earth and the ecosystems, and with regenerative agriculture and non-till methods and rainwater harvesting, we can garden the planet back up into health. I highly suggest the movie Kiss the Ground, where they go into this example of the Loess Plateau in China, which was uh, totally degraded. It was the cradle of civilization of China. It was degraded by livestock over grazing down to where it was a desert. And in 10 years, they've created I forget, it's an area almost the size of New Belgium, that is an enormous food forest that has lifted the area out of economic depression. In India, similarly, Sadhguru was talking about this. They've been doing these huge tree planting programs and agriculture programs, and it is lifting the area out of poverty. So we have to remember that our economic abundance is our biological abundance. And so I want to, offer up that everyone, we got to be the change we want to see in the world. So knowing that there's these problems in our food system, in our, human health practices and systems, in our food systems, in our environment, we really have to learn to reharmonize ourselves, our own bodies, taking proper care of them. So this is the mission of life cultivation that I would suggest to you, is that you take on the mode of cultivating life. Cultivate your own life. Cultivate the life of a plant or an animal or your family member. We do this naturally. We do this anyways because this is our nature. This is more natural to us than the mode of separation we've been in this whole, thing of division that we experienced in 2020. I think is a good opportunity, in 2021 to plan to work towards reunification of humanity, and remembering that we are all one family, we're all in this together, and that we can, if we take on the healing of the environment and ourselves. The Buddha has this great quote: if we could make one person healed and happy, and that was ourselves, and if everyone just did that, we'd have world peace. Instead of trying to fix other people's problems. How many times you go to try to help someone and you actually make things worse. We really are in this time where we have to come into balance in our own selves and learn to be self-loving and have self-care, so that we can then direct that to the other, ones, our other selves, and remember that there's only one of us here. The other people, animals, plants, chickens, they're all part of the one consciousness and the oneness, I and I, Jah. So, I just wanted to, share this idea of let's plant seeds. Let's plan for 21 to be triumphant. Let's start large campaigns of regenerative agriculture. Let's take it upon ourselves in that way of being the change we want to see in the world, to create food sovereignty in our own home gardens and community gardens and public spaces. Let's demand from our city and local officials that we start to mitigate environmental damage, that we start to do bioremediations, that we start to create community food forests and rainwater harvesting parking lots and from parking lots and parks, and start to be more forward thinking, having apiaries on the roof, living walls to make energy efficiency be more realized. And in this way, when we get people involved in healing their own land around their house and growing food through the permaculture principles, we can grow 8 acres of food on 1 acre by layering everything up like a forest, instead of growing them, clearing the forest because a typical forest has more, much more food and much more diversity of food and medicine than a typical acre of, corn or other monocrop. So if we get into this idea of regenerative agriculture and systems, polycultures, food forests, bioremediation, we can do the carbon sequestration. We can start to have carbon drawdown. We can have this collective effort that is community-based, that's connected with the land. They say if your connection with your food breaks down, all your other relationships break down, because that's your relationship with the Earth Mother. So if you can't trust your mother, who can you trust? And this is something that we can learn to do again. This is part of our past, and this is part of our sovereignty. When I first went to school in permaculture, there was a research paper that was done. It was well vetted and researched and cross-checked, and it basically posited that the Amazon jungle was created by indigenous people, because it's all sand underneath, and they would inoculate these midden piles, and then with this terra preta, that would grow this beautiful soil, and then they would plant their favorite fruit trees. Similarly in Northern Europe, massive forests that were created by people. Like, this is part of our function on the planet, and just to even be able to reclaim the food sovereignty in our locale, to be able to, in this time, when food shortages showed up last year, or people perceived them, what if you had a garden that fed you? What if that garden was fresher, better, free? We're the only animals that pay to eat and live on the planet. What if we could take this opportunity to transform the consciousness about that, and our ability through the practice of permaculture, through the practice of new economic ideas, things that are regenerative, things that don't just draw from the people, but help the people, help people, help the land, help the economy. All of it helps, and stacks function. So that's the dream, that's the seed I'm planting, in your consciousness, of the potential that we could, jump onto in this time. So I'm offering tools for this in terms of what I feel my role is, beyond the activism of trying to be a conduit for this idea. Is I'm going to be offering some permaculture design classes. I'm certified permaculture designer. I've been doing permaculture, rainwater harvesting, xeric foodscapes, and dryland gardens and pollinator gardens in Santa Fe and the surrounding area for about 20 years now. Been homesteading all that time, so forager. So we're going to be offering some classes on permaculture design basics, kind of geared mostly towards dryland permaculture, because I'm here in the desert Southwest, and the practices and principles are workable in every environment, but they're going to be this is going to be sort of geared towards the desert Southwest in terms of plant selection and some of the ideas. But it's something that's a really powerful tool, and I feel grateful to be able to share and offer. So look out for that. I'm going to be on my social media and on my website, ziapermaculture.com, posting the times and dates of these. It'll just be via Zoom with a $10 donation suggested. More or less is fine. Please do offer something, because I do have a family and I do need to make a living here. But regardless of that, and that would be the idea too in economics, is let's support each other. Let's support small business, green business. These are the things that are, on the one hand, taking a hit, on the other hand, our friends and families, and on the other hand, are the things that are really going to give us more local stability and strength. So yeah, I hope you feel that. my people. Look out for my classes. Yeah, also got green business opportunities in the form of Purium. Spring is coming up, and it's a great time for a cleanse. If you need a cleanse, hit me up and let me know if I can support you or be of service in any way. All right, I hope you got something from this. Sending you much love today. God bless.